Richard Gere wed thrice and romanced Tinseltown's pinnacle luminaries. Yet in 2024, aged 75, he unveiled the profound verity. A singular enchantress reshaped his cosmos. She wasn't the supermodel bound by Vegas foil bands, nor the thespian warring courtside over $120 million fortunes. Not even Yankee-born. For her, he liquidated his palatial abode and abandoned the homeland cradling him decades long. The revelation slipped softly, near serendipitously. Uttering her identity decoded every enigmatic pivot post-septuagenarian threshold. Richard Tiffany Gere materialized August 31st, 1949, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Second of quintet offspring nurtured by Homer George Gere and Doris and Tiffany. Obscure to multitudes, lineage tethered straight to Mayflower voyagers, Richard Warren, William Brewster, Francis Cook, John Billington, Diggory Priest, rendering him rare celluloid denizen with veins pulsing primordial settler essence. Upbringing, however, forged austere over aristocratic. Patriarch Homer aspired clergy, pursued theology ardently, yet veered to steadfast vocation, accountant initially, thereafter insurance broker. Spiritual abandonment bred domestic void. Homer navigated World War II aboard USS Arist's Pacific Theater. Post-war GI Bill propelled Wharton degree, elite commerce bastion. Atlantic refining inception, nationwide insurance zenith, esteemed operative. Household adhered rigid Methodist tenets. Richard, immersed therein, probed enigmas unanswered. Age 11, Syracuse, New York relocation. North Syracuse Central High enrollment. Metamorphosis ignited. Beyond pupil, gymnastics laurels, orchestral compositions for scholastic dramatics. Trumpet, percussion, ivory mastery. Peers grappled algebra. Richard orchestrated symphonies whilst elite tumbler. Full gymnastics stipend University Massachusetts Amherst post-state triumphs. Concurrently toted 17 acquired guitar, relic enduring eras. Instrument transcended tool, selfhood cornerstone. Subterranean, paternal rift. Homer, ledgers, regimen, surety. Richard, purpose, liberty, revelation. Schism propelled contrarily. Clandestine Eastern doctrine immersion, library pilfered tomes, parental obliviousness to Methodist mandate. Solitary chamber devoured meditation, Tibetan Buddhism. Sartre's being and nothingness half comprehended, yet resonant. Evans whence Tibetan renderings sparked queries on liberated, yet anchored existence. Subversion subtle, introspective sans clamor. 1967 valediction. Psyche galaxies a field kin orbit. Athletic bounty spurned post-biennium UMass. Olympiad hardware, parchment irrelevant. Indefinable quest. Anti-war vanguard collegiate. 1969 dropout horrified Homer. Lifelong bulwark demolished for ambiguity. Conventional triumph eschewed. Creation, portrayal, existential narration via narrative, enactment. Seattle Exodus age 20, untrained thespian. Miraculously Seattle Repertory Theater, 1969-70 birth. Debut Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead alongside veterans. Sponge-like assimilation. Provincetown Playhouse Cape Cod contemporaneous. Remuneration scant. Subsistence precarious. Identity crystallizing. Early 70s nadir. Nomadic, itinerant, boulevard strumming sustenance. Eggs primary repast. Dining extravagance inconceivable. Impoverished, isolated, gig uncertain. Adolescent guitar survival conduit. Unglamorous endurance, forged empathy, fortitude. Later humanitarian propellant. 1971 Broadway rock opus, soon Ritz Theater. Catastrophic triad performances. Devastated yet relentless. 1973 London Greece Danny Zuko primordial. Months endurance. Inaugural stability, acclaim. Platform charisma, timbre, magnetism. London fiscal buffer, assurance amplification, Yankee Repatriation Blueprint. 1972 New York Meisner Atelier's Immersion. Emotion via Kinetics. Hush. Gymnastic Heritage fueled off-Broadway Myriad. Off gratis. Austerity Meals. Absolute Devotion. Hopeful Deserter Evolved Disciplined Artisan. 1973 London Grease Helm. Prior New York Understudy Quintet Covers. Led Incapacity. Gear Ascended. Conquered. Producers transposed overseas. New London Theatre debut. Summer Nights Archival Vigor Age 24. Prodigy Whispers. 1974 Royal Shakespeare Licentio Taming of the Shrew. Blades. Vocal Projection. Endurance. Athleticism Physicality Aid. Regent's Park Arena's fused Shakespearean rigor American Impulse. Joan Plowright Mentorship Nuance. Aura. Classical Imprimatur Beyond Musicals. Grease Improvisation On Stage Osculation. Mid-run Dismissal. 70s British tabloids feasted American audacity. Allure. Veracity Secondary. Lore Augmented. Risk Embracing Passion. 1978 Eckhart Monkish Enactment. Sparse Chronicles. Paralleled Existential Pivot. Nepal, India, Maiden Pilgrimage. Tibetan Exile Enclaves. Lama Lifelong Guides. Zen Inception. Tibetan Buddhism. Gelugpa Devotion. Profound, Perpetual. Universal Mercy. Inner Emancipation. 1979 Bent Broadway Max. Homosexual Dachau Captive. Inaugural Nudity. Emotional Ferocity. Holocaust Queer Persecution Taboo. Dachau Visitation Preparatory. 1980 Theater World Laureate. Anderson Cooper Childhood Spectator Identity Catalyst. Valor. Principle over Stardom. April 1975 Strike Force Telepilot. Singleton Broadcast. State Trooper French Connection-inspired narcotics saga. Firearm Novice Rigorous Drill. Penn Station Chase. Authentic NYPD Gorman Suspect Misapprehension Arrest Attempt. Fulton Fish Market Vendor Extortion Godfather Precedent. Snowplow Onslaught Cast. Crime Drama. Guerrilla Cinematography Baptism. 1976 Baby Blue Marine Secondary Raider. Jan Michael Vincent. 1944 Small Town Wartime Evocation Mount Shasta. Location Acclaim. Attendance Absent. May 5th Premiere Silent Bust. Agent Axed Military Pigeonhole Conviction. Fiscal Hemorrhage. John Drew Barrymore Finale Reclusion. Rumor Gear Eclipsed Vincent Leading Trajectory. 1977 Looking for Mr. Goodbar Tony Cocaine. Hustler Diane Keaton Seduction. Method Immersion Co-Star Terror. Roseanne Quinn 1973 Homicide Basis Unflinching. 110 theaters $1.54 million weekend. $16.90 aggregate. $85 million adjusted. Strobe Climax Victim Throws 70s Unease Apex. Consciousness Propulsion. Peril Typification. 1978 Days of Heaven Terrence Malick. Whiskey Gap Alberto Weed Expanses. The Decimal Shifts Magic Hour Quarter-Hour Windows. Gear Heatstroke. Malick Natural Illumination Insistence Technician Ire. Actual Wheatfield Mansion. Nestor Almendros Near Blind Polaroid Reliance. Cinematography Oscar. Nepal Sylvia Martin's Monk Encounters Dalai Lama Biography Dharamsala. Tibetan Gelugpa Adoption Transformative Focus Authenticity Propulsion. 1980 American Gigolo Paradigm Shift. Premiere Mainstream Full Frontal Non-Erotic Window. Shirtless Improv Swedish Tapes. $4.8 million budget, $23 gross. Armani Wardrobe Fashion Tsunami. Schrader Anti-Travis Bickle. Triumph Arrival. Broadway Lesson from Aloe's Apartheid Protests Exterior. Accusations Propaganda. Activism Genesis. 1982 An Officer and a Gentleman Sentimental Factory. Carrie Gear Refusal Scoresweight. Deborah Winger Friction Arrogance Label. Decuple Retakes Tension Iconic. $6 million $130 yield. 1983 Breathless Remake McBride Script Flux Graphic Nudity Breach. Walkout Threat $13 million Tri-Day Hiatus Legal Mediation Trimmed. $19 Return McBride Big Budget Exile. Cotton Club Robert Evans cocaine criminal entanglements Roy Radin Canyon homicide Evans testimony evasion prison specter. Coppola succession. Gere mob tapper rewrite demands $47 million detonation survival. Pretty Woman Al Pacino declination. Gere near refusal Julia Roberts post-it plea. $14 million, $463.40 global 42.1 million domestic tickets. $12 million Gere opera Kiss adlib. 1990 Internal Affairs Dennis Peck corrupt LAPD heist assassinations. Garcia authentic contusions. Darkness conviction shock. Gerbil myth wildfire Stallone Lords of Flatbush feud suspicion denial. Media late night perennial. 1993 Summersby Sextet Month Dialect Civil War Imposter. Jodie Foster Rumor Denials. $30 million, $140 worldwide Gere post-production finale tweak. 1996 Primal Fear Defense Cynic Altar Boy Sociopath. Outburst Quinquagenarian Rehearsals. $14 million, $102 Edward Norton Meteor. 1999 Runaway Bride Roberts Reunion $70 Explosion Test Audience Revulsion Reshoots. Cash Accusation $309. 1993 Oscars China Tibet Impromptu Denunciation. Hollywood China Coffer Reliance Quiet Ostracism. Director Warnings. 1997 Red Corner Legal Critique $30 million Hemorrhage Confirmed Blacklist. 2000 Dr. T and the Women Altman Nude Lake Discomfort. Farrah Fawcett Crew Insistence. Quintet Day Opener Improv. Smoke Bronchial Plague. Unfaithful Murder Propulsion Diane Lane Neck Herniation Kiss. Smoky Antibiotic Regimen. Hit. The Hoax Clifford Irving Hughes Forgery 15-pound Gain Mustache Recordings. Watergate Insinuation. We All Lie. 2002 Chicago Tap Neophyte Trimester Seclusion Instructor Outburst Set Jest Richard's working on his tap. Razzle Dazzle Quad Camera Reality Fantasy Dual Hour. Golden Globe Maiden Point 2007 I'm Not There Dylan Elder Outlaw Surreal Western. Vocal Transmogrification Growl. Dreamscape French New Wave Grit Dylan Verbatim. Sextet Identities $20 million $11 Cult Slow Contemplation Standout. 2008 Nights in Rodanthe Lane Subtropical Tempest Beach Injury Near Drowning Authentic Waves Rocks. Pier Quadricentennial Extras Deluge Wind. Beach House Nor'easter Obliteration. Gere Aquatic Stunts Insistence Storm Ocular. 2012 Arbitrage $63 billionaire $400 million Fraud Madoff Immersion Com Menace. Uncut Loan Explication. Critical Chicago Successor On-Demand Prevalence Internal Collapse Mastery. 2016 Norman Indie Manhattan Fixer Yiddish Immersion Sextet Layer Garb Nomadic Bag Homelessness Unseen. Upper West Side Fixer Consultations. Humility Ageless. Cindy Crawford 1991 Vegas Foil Nuptials Age 39 to 22. 1995 Dissolution Self-Loss Baseball Buddhism Mismatch Voice Reclamation. 2007 India Shilpa Shetty HIV Event Cheek Kiss Effigy Inferno Protest Judicial Shetty Rebuke. Quintessential Legal Purgation Gere Early Apology Enduring Scar. Carrie Lowell Near Vicenial Union Homer Progeny. 2013 Acrimonious Custody $120 million Bedford Post $65 million. Lowell $33 million. Buddhist Retreats Manhattan Schism. Interludes. Barbara Streisand 80s Whispers. 2014 Padma Lakshmi Post-Bereavement Divorce Levity Transients. Alejandra Silva Spanish activist 33-year chasm 2018 vows Alexander James 70 to 71 paternities. Connecticut domicile 2024 $10.75 million liquidation Madrid La Moralija exile. Reciprocal sacrifice U.S. relinquishment. Semi-annual states return murmurs. Familial veil, no progeny visuals Alejandra domestic glimpses. 1991 Foundation Tibetan Exiles Funding Erosion China Vocalization Market Phobia Blacklist. 2024 Senate Testimony Chinese Director Tearful Career Peril Dialogue. Roles Desiccation Persistence. 2017 Nepal Camps Pneumonia Near Fatal 68 Karmic Depletion Months Convalescence Meditation Deceleration. 2025 Spain International Goya Half-Century Post-Debut. Oration Indigenous Tibet Million Tibetan Youth Chinese Indoctrination. Platform Voiceless Advocacy. O Canada Truth Senescence Mortality Farewell Hollywood Facade. 76 Red Carpet Box Office Indifference Narrative Substance. Domestic Repast Progeny Over LA Power Banquets. Thespian Autonomy.